question.
Oh, that is so funny.
I anticipate your mind. That's to tell you we think alike. I already anticipate where you're going. Why do you think it's so hard to get people to change? And what should entrepreneurs learn about that reality? Because sometimes when people don't understand that it's a reality, that it's hard to get people to change, they get frustrated because they bring a product into the market that is supposed to make people change rather than keying in into what they are already changing to, like you just said. They are trying to change the way people already are. People already change to that. So, but let me hear your thoughts on that before I had my own.
Well, the reason why it's hard to get people to change is because humans are creatures of habit. They like habit. Period. That's why it's so hard to get people to change. It's nothing. It's not because they're this or that. Just humans are a creature of habit. You've got to understand that human nature is to do the same thing over and over again until you die. All right. and that there's nothing wrong with that. It's a human behavior. And so and what should entrepreneurs learn about that reality? What you have to learn about that reality is that you have to introduce change incrementally. There's a phrase called Hegelian dialectic. Hegelian dialectic. And what the Hegelian dialectic is, it's from a philosopher. His name is Dr. Hegel. And he came up with the fact that history repeats itself. It's normal for history to repeat itself every 50 to 80 years, but with only increment changes within history, but it still repeats itself. So we have the increment change AI that's been introduced into history, that's been introduced to us. Everything that we did 50 years ago, we're going to do again. We're just going to do it with AI. So that will be that increment change. And as long as we understand the Hegelian dialectic and we understand that history repeats itself with intricate changes, we can start looking at, okay, where's that intricate change and where's that stay the same? Go ahead, Dr. Ope.
All right. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Let me just add to that because at the end of the day, I want business people to also take my own perspective on this away too. Understand that it is very hard to make people to change. And that is why I always teach, and it's in one of my books, in fact, my book that I'm going to be launching very soon, Success Secrets of Millionaire Hustlers. One of the mindset secrets I discussed there is that it is a big point of failure for somebody trying to come up to make their first $10,000, their first $5,000, to be thinking about bringing original stuff into the market. Because when something is original, that means people have to embrace it. That requires them to change what they've been doing, the way they have been thinking, to embrace this new thing. And it is very, very hard for you to do if you're a newcomer. You look at the people like Zuckerberg who brought Facebook and you say you are inspired. You look like those who created ChatGPT. But what you didn't know, it took them 7, 8, 9 years of hard work, sweating, spending millions of dollars. Importantly, your father is not Bill Gates and you're not related to Mark Zuckerberg, and you want to bring out a new product, a new idea that nobody's heard of, you are likely going to fail because it's generationally that you get a new product in the market. What I'm saying, new original product. What is happening out there is you copy what is already working and then give it to people who already are expecting it. Almost all the successful businesses out there are like that. Don't let them deceive you. Even Clubhouse is not original. Okay? Go and check their history. Facebook itself was not really original because it was a different concept originally. So for you just coming up, and this is me giving you what I call the Wealth Apostle advice now. If you really want to succeed initially, don't listen to what all those millionaires and billionaires are saying, telling you have to be original. You have not earned the right to be original until you can feed your family. I'm going to say it again. You have not earned the right to be original in the marketplace until you can pay your bills. because originality is hard. It takes time to sell it. Of course, once you sell it and people buy it, you can become a billionaire the next year. But the years to make people to embrace it, the cost that you have to put in there to get people to rush it, you don't have that money yet because you are still living in your mother's house and you are talking about original concept. Are you okay? You got to get something that is working and then put your own little twist to it and take your own little share of the market first. And as you get settled, you have a nice car, you have a nice house, you are paying your bills, then you can start entertaining thoughts of originality because people don't like change. Change is hard. And when your stuff is original, you are trying to say they should change. And I'll say this last part. Okay? You cannot expect somebody to inconvenience themselves to give you money. So you have to give people what they want, not what you think that they need. It's not your business to tell people what they need. Your business as a business person, because you're not the government, you're not a philosopher. Your government, your job is to give Hot what he wants, to give me what I want. Because people will pay for what they want, but they have to be convinced to buy what they need. Most people don't buy what they need. They buy what they want. And most people don't think about it that way. Go and look at most of the stuff you spend your money on. Everybody listening to this. Look at your purchases in the last 30 days. I can guarantee you really don't need 70% of those things you bought. But you want it. That's why you spend your money. I love to eat rice and dodo, they call it in Nigeria. That's fried plantain, okay? But it's not good for me because I have high cholesterol. I'm not supposed to be eating fried stuff, right? What I'm supposed to be eating is stuff that doesn't have salt and stuff that is not fried, like potato. But every time my wife gives me potato, I'm miserable. So if I have, and it gives me food with no salt in it, I'm a sad man. So when she's not looking, I'm going to put some salt. And when I'm on my own, I'm buying the rice and the dodo I want to eat is what I'm eating. Why? I know if I don't want to die soon, I need to discipline myself, right? But my point is, human beings are like that. They spend their money on what they want, not necessarily what they need. And your job as a business person, look for what people want and then give it to them. Later, when you are okay, you can start selling them on what you think they need. But if you start with what you think they need and they don't want, I'll give one last example. A Nigerian student in the university right now, what they need is books and tools that will let them to become better students to pass their exams. But put before them a great book that is 400 pages on how they can pass their school fast, or a book or a process for them to get visa to come to America. They don't need visa in America. They don't really need visa to come to America because people have been in Nigeria that have made it, okay? But 90% of them is visa they want. Anything else you are trying, they will look for money. People tell you they don't have $10 to buy a book. They'll go look for $5,000 to get somebody to process a visa for them. All right. I don't know if you want to add to that because
I want to add to that. Like, here's the deal. Original. Everybody can be original, but be original with what already works. So, for instance, there's a guy. I think it was Nigeria, either Nigeria or India, and people had to drive around his house to get to where they needed to go because there was a ditch that went between his house and the road. And so they had to go all the way down the road and then come all the way back up to go to a place. So what he did is he bought a board, all right? And he charged people 50 cents and he just put the board over the ditch and the motorcycles would go over the board and he just charged them 50 cents and then he made enough of money and then he built a small little bridge, and he charged people to go over the bridge. That's original. All right. For another example, there's a woman, her name is Christelle. All right. She came up with one-click course creator using AI. All right. She didn't change anything. You don't have to learn anything new. The only thing that she did was come up where you say, hey, I want to create a course about baby puppies and how to take care of them. Hit enter, and an entire course is created for you. So then you just go in and build that course. That is original. But she didn't change anything other than how it's done. If you want to be original, fix what's broken, not create something new. So one more example of original. There's a guy I know, he's in the Philippines, all right? People have rice fields in the Philippines, and they have these tillers, and they have to really struggle with these tillers. He figured out a way to just put little boats underneath the tiller so the tiller floats, and you can till the rice field. That's original. You get that? So fix what's broken. Don't try to create something new. That will be original.